The Summoner's Nexus TCG is a digital indie trading card game that I've been working on for the better part of the last 3.5 years, and it is now in its pre-alpha/open beta stage, which means that you watching this right now can go and download it and start playing it for yourself. You can get your hands on it, see how it works, and in the spirit of like sharing and informing people on the systems in the game, I wanted to make a dedicated video where I show off the deck building and customization features that I've built into the game. So some background: when you log into the game, you open on this screen, you come over to the deck button here, you enter the deck editor, and then you are able to start building. You've got 10 deck slots to work with. You can just tap on this panel to allow you to select the deck you want to start editing, and then you're good to go. As for how you actually get your hands on the cards, real simple. You come over to the shop section of the game and you scroll down, and yes, there are like multiple ways to like pull for cards and everything like that, but like I said, well, actually I don't think I said it yet, everything during the pre-alpha and open beta stage of the game is completely free in terms of the cards, right? Cosmetics you would still have to pull for, but there's no like in-game purchases. Like if you tried to spend actual money, it wouldn't currently work, so you can't do that, but you can like earn sigils and buy cosmetics, which, you know, fully in-game currency. I'm going to show you how to equip those in a second. As for the cards though, you come up to the starter deck section, and if I use this as an example, you would just click on this box. It's an entire fully built deck. There will be a button under this that says purchase. You click on purchase and it just automatically unlocks all of the cards, and then you can equip this directly to one of your deck slots and start playing just like that. If you want to be a little bit more freehand though, you scroll right down to the bottom of the shop section, come to the developer shop, and just push the button that says working cards, and it will unlock all 70 of the current like working cards in the game. There's 123 cards in the base game, and so some of the cards haven't had their effects coded in yet, so those cards are just like beat sticks. They're just vanilla cards that don't have effects in game, but if you push the working cards button, you get all of the cards unlocked and you can start building in any way you want to. God, now that long-winded preamble is over, I can actually tell you how you go about building a deck in the Summoner's Nexus TCG. Now, a deck is built of 20 cards, right? That is the deck size in this game. It's not variable. You are fixed. You need to have 20 cards. You can't have more. You can't have less. There are two main types of card in the game: avatars, which are your monsters, and runes, which are like your magic cards. And you have to have 10 avatars in the deck and 10 runes in the deck. Now, the rows and symbols in the deck editor are actually relevant because where you position the cards in the deck editor determines how and when you see them in game. If you didn't already know, you decide which 10 cards go into your starting hand: 5 avatars and 5 runes. You then have a resource deck that you draw from over the course of the game, which contains, again, 5 avatars and 5 runes. You draw those at random by drawing 1 avatar and 1 rune per turn. So these first 2 rows is what makes up your starting hand, right? You put your 5 avatars for your hand here, your 5 runes for your hand up here. Then on this first row of circles, you have the 5 avatars that go in your resource deck. And then the bottom row is the 5 runes that go into your resource deck. So you tap on the edge of this panel here and it props up the card display, which makes it easier to see the cards in your inventory. We've got a bunch of ways to help like sort and filter the cards. If you click on this, it'll sort the cards based on attack, defense, rank, from A to Z, so on and so forth. And then if you click over here, you have a whole like filter system and search bar. If you hold on a card in the deck editor, it'll favorite it, and then you can filter down to just your favorite cards. If you want to remove like the filters if you've got active, you just push the refresh button. You can filter the cards by subset, so only cards from specific subsets will appear. And if you are like forgetting what the symbols for the subsets are, don't worry, just hold on the icon and it will tell you exactly which deck is, you know, represented by that icon. You can also filter your avatars by the 3 core types of avatars: attack type, defense type, and support type. You can also filter to just runes if you'd like to do that as well. And then further down, you can filter by rarity. So you can filter by standard rarity, you can filter by limited, filter by royal rare, and then each card has like marked versions that are just cosmetic differences, which you can also filter by. Based on the filters I have applied, I don't have anything showing because I don't own any wandering cards that are marked. This is currently the only marked card that's on my account. You can see like it has its own cosmetic like view to it. Resetting all of this real quick, you can also filter by card rank because there are 3 ranks of cards: rank 1, rank 2, and rank 3. You can filter by synergy rating, which we're about to talk about, and you can filter by effect classification. So if you want to just see cards that have effects that, you know, destroy other cards on the field, you can specifically see cards that have something to do with that, so on and so forth. On top of that, if there are cards that you do not own in the settings, you can come over here and turn on the filter to show unowned cards. You won't be able to put them into your decks, but it will at least showcase them for you so you can consider them and decide whether or not you want to get them. For the unowned cards, they will look like this, so you can still tap on them to get their information. It's just you can't do anything with them. When you tap on a card that you own, you get the symbols at the top that will allow you to add the card to the deck. With these, not so much. Speaking of the cards though, there's an additional filter system. Let's say I'm looking at this card and I just want to dive straight into the action about, okay, this card's deck, this card's family, what cards are related to this. I can just hold on the button that's on that card and it instantly filters it down to all of the related cards in this one card's family. So those are the core mechanics of the deck editor. You can change the name of your deck up here. You can lock it so that you don't accidentally change the cards in it, or you can empty it out so that way you make space for more decks. Now, as for the cards themselves, each card has a data page where if you tap on the card, it will bring up all of its card information. You get its attack on the left, you get its defense on the right, you've got its effects that are just written at the bottom of the card, and if I tap on this here, right, it shows me the details for the specific card effect. If the effect of a card involves a status condition, it will be sort of like hyperlinked, highlighted blue, and you can tap on that and that will show you the details on the status condition in question. Now back to general card data and card information. If you look at the bottom half of this, you have the card's name, the Wandering Wukong, which is on display. Right underneath that, you have the rank of the card. It's a rank 2, which means that it has 2 effects and it will cost you 100 points from your Nexus gauge to summon this card. Then you have the symbol that represents which kind of card it is. This is an attack type card, which is why it has the dual swords. Over here we have an example of a defensive card, and over here we have an example of a supportive card, which has this wreath. Now, some cards can be dual type, meaning that they are 2 types at the exact same time. The Wandering Ryu is an assault support type, and so it's got the dual swords and it's got the wreath. Now, underneath the icons that determine the card's typing, you have a very important piece of information, the card's synergy rating. Underneath that, you have the card's subset, and then the information on the card subset can be obtained by pushing the eye information icon. But let's get back to the synergy rating thing I talked about. Every card in this game has what's called a synergy rating, and this is a core feature of how you build decks in the Summoner's Nexus TCG. You'll notice here that every single card in this deck, every single avatar, has a green outline glowing around it. Now, that is based on the synergy system that exists in the game, which says if a card is to be able to use its effects, for a card to be able to function properly in this game, there is a set number of cards from its family, from its group, that need to be included in your deck in order for it to be functional. The Wandering Ryu in this example has a synergy rating of 7, which means that 7 of the 10 avatars in your deck need to be from the Wandering subset, or else his effects will not be activatable in game. We have exactly 7 cards from the Wandering subset and 3 cards from a different subset that has a synergy rating of 3, the Aria subset. Now, the total synergy rating of any given deck is going to be 10, so you need to figure out how to fit your combinations into that. Usually major subsets have a synergy rating of around 6 to 8, and minor subsets have a synergy rating between 2 and 5, so you figure out how you can mix and match to make your decks work as best as you can. If I were to take out one of the avatars from the Wandering subset here, let's say I took out the Wandering Wukong, well, all of a sudden, Ryu now has a red outline because this deck no longer meets his specific synergy requirements. The other Wandering subset avatars have synergy ratings of 6, so they are still fully functional, but with Ryu now glowing red, this deck cannot be piloted. Even if I were to replace the missing card with something random, let's say I just threw in a generic avatar here that doesn't have a synergy rating, so he can fit anywhere, Ryu is still glowing red, and so there is still an exclamation mark next to my deck's name. The reason for this is simple. You see, if a card is in your starting hand, if it is one of your first 5 avatars that is going to be played, it needs to have active synergy. Its synergy requirements need to be met, or else the deck will not be considered valid. If, for example, I was to remove this card and also remove the Wandering Ryu and then change the format of the deck, this combination works perfectly. Now, you'll notice something. The Wandering Ryu is now in my resource deck. It doesn't have a glowing green border, but it also doesn't have a glowing red one. Well, now that it is no longer in my hand, even though its synergy requirements have not been met, the deck is still functional. The only cards that must have their active synergy met are the cards that are in your opening hand. All 5 of these need to glow green, but the cards in your resource deck don't have to have those same requirements met. Now, the Wandering Ryu will not be able to activate any of his card effects in game. He will effectively just be a beat stick that can use his stats and attack and defend, but other than that, right, he's not functional. That being said, I'm still allowed to take him in. If I have a strategy that I think can work with the Wandering Ryu being played like this, I am fully allowed to do that. And that's where the creativity, that's where the trick and the flexibility with deck building starts to come in. You are trying to see, okay, what can I combine? What synergy ratings can I work within? What strategies can I use? Can I give up active synergy for this card and still use it in a strategy, maybe by bolstering it with its magic cards, for example, right? There's so many different things and so many different ways that you can build and play. The synergy system is there to make sure that things that are too broken don't just run rampant in the meta because we are choosing the cards that we open with, but you still have quite a bit of room to breathe and be flexible in how you want to go about building your decks. You've also got generic avatars which don't have synergy ratings. They're only allowed to go in the resource deck. They can't go into your opening hand, but they will always have active synergy because there's no synergy requirement stopping them. That's just another thing I added into the game to give you like more flexible deck building options. Say you build a deck with like a synergy rating of 5 for one deck and a synergy rating of 4 for another deck, and you've just got one spot you want to fill. You can either throw in a card without active synergy or just chuck in one of these generic avatars and boom, you're good to go. So that is how you build a deck in the Summoner's Nexus TCG. How do you go about customizing it? Now, when you load into a game, you have default cosmetics. You have the default icon for your player. You have the default mat that you play your cards onto. And you've also got the default card backs for any cards that end up being face down on the field. These are all things that you can change and customize. You can even go so far as to change the music that plays when you battle with a given deck, and sometimes animations that come with the cards that you're playing. There are a number of ways to get cosmetics in this game. You can, finish story mode missions, you can go into the guild shop, but the most straightforward way is just through the standard shop screen in the game. You can come over here and purchase whatever you want to customize your deck with. In this instance, I think I like the look of, let's go with this card sleeve. We've got that purchase, it's added to our inventory now. I want to change my player icon as well. I might go with something, I feel like I've got a water vibe going on, so I'll go with this for my player icon. And then to keep with that theme of blue that I'm sort of working with here, I guess I'll go with, I think I can work with this as my player mat, my battle mat. So I'm just going to purchase this as well. Now, in the open beta / pre-alpha, if you want to earn sigils, you get sigils by logging in every day, you get sigils by winning battles, so on and so forth. So you can collect those as the game, as you just play through the game, and they're primarily used for cosmetics at this stage in development. And then I guess I'll get one card animation because it might be nice to play around with and just show you guys what that looks like. So once you've done that, you come back to the deck section, but instead of going into the deck editor, you swipe to the left and you enter the deck customization screen. Now, each individual deck has its own pocket for you to customize. So if I look at the starter deck that I'm working with, I can see what card sleeves I have in my inventory. I will equip all of these things. I will equip this card animation. I didn't actually buy any music packs because you guys can't hear the music playing in game right now. But if I wanted to buy music packs and change the music that is currently being played when I play this specific deck, I can do that too. For my player icon, I come over to the player section and I will just change this real quick and we're ready to go. Now when I load into a game with this deck, I've got these different cosmetics equipped. It's an entirely different vibe. Personally, I like the look of what I've got going on here. I will choose to play the Wandering Wukong on the field as part of this example, and I will set 2 cards face down, which for both me and my opponent, they get to see my card skins. They'll see their own game mat, but they will see my card skins and they can see my player icon. Okay, so I had to start a different game to use as an example because I realized that when you're playing against the AI, I don't think I currently have it coded for your animations to play, but when I play the Wandering Wukong against another player, if I push Declaration Phase for this, both players get shown the animation of the Wandering Wukong that I have equipped from my cosmetic section. So that is everything that we currently have on how to build and customize a deck in the Summoner's Nexus TCG. I hope that you found that helpful. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, download the game, give it a try, join our Discord, all of the YouTube things. Thank you very much for watching and have a wonderful day. Take care.